Okay, hold on to your seats because here we go. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And we're going to start to work on this guy right here. Now, I went ahead and pulled all my pencils for the Griffin first because I finally decided I wanted to give him gold wings and a purple body. I know, I'm going crazy here. But it's Alice. Why not? You know? I don't want to keep it all dark animals and stuff like that. I want it to be a bright, bold book. So then I decided on blue and some greens for the turtle because he's a water creature. All right, so I'm going to blow this up and then I'm going to sit down and start coloring and hopefully not move the book and stay in shot. So, without further ado, we are going to start again with the Crayola pencils with cornflower. Then the other pencils I've pulled are just regular old blue and navy blue. So I'm going through and I'm going to do the whole body underside in this cornflower color. You know how I picked this shade of blue? I looked at my light blues, saw which one had been used the least, and pulled it out. That was it. So I am just trying to start using some colors that I don't use as much. And so that's how I picked it. Then I looked on the color wheel and I was like, okay, what color is going to be close to this that would look okay on the shell of the turtle? Now, if I went opposite on the color wheel, I was going to end up with orange, which would have been okay, but I already knew I wanted gold wings, so I decided instead of going across, there I said it again, across instead of across, I don't know, Texas. Anywho, I decided to go next to it. So next on the color wheel from blue is green. So that's how I came up with the green. Now, on the Griffin, I just decided that I was going to go with purple somewhere, and then I thought about purple wings and a fuchsia body, and then the more I started looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, a griffin needs big old gold wings. So I decided to go with my browns and yellows and do gold. Now, then I started seeing how small all the little feather bits are and thought there's no way I'm going to get like 5 or 6 different colors in there. So that's when I narrowed it down to, I think, just 3 colors. So it's not going to be my standard of how I would do gold. But it's going to work. It's going to work. It'll be fine. And I may come back with a gel pen and do that teardrops with something kind of, I don't know, maybe iridescent. I'll have to erase this one. I just went right over the top. Just being easy. Being simple. Anyway, I've really enjoyed this book. Really, really. All right, so that's probably pretty good. Got a lot of coverage on there. So that's my basic cornflower color. Now I'm going to move to just the basic blue. Here we go. There's nothing, right? So I'm going to go over all the little spots. Now this is going to take some time. So, I mean all the spots. So let's pretend I've done that. Then I'm going to come in here and start going over the body, that underbody. This middle area, it's not quite as dark as here and here and up here. So that's what I'm hitting first. Get up here in some of these little wrinkles and ridges. And then we're going to make the dark darker, and that's when we'll pull in that next color. Okay, so it's just basic coloring. Just coloring, not a whole lot of blending yet. We've gone over the top of stuff so far. We'll get to doing some blending when we add the next blue. Just working a lot of that tooth out of this paper. You noticed I went this way, and then I turned and started going this way. It's a cross hatching that just really helps fill in all the spaces. Snuck up on that pencil a little bit. Did you see that? I had been holding it further back. So, and again, doing all these dots, getting all this done. But I don't really want to rush too much and get out of all the lines. I'm just doing this right here because I'm going to add some of the darker color to it in a little bit. Okay? So just take it to the TV or whatever, however you color. Get all those little dots done. Now here's where we're going to be doing a little bit of blending because we have shadow here, but then it goes away. So here's where I'm going to be doing lighter and lighter touch as I come in here. And I really have to concentrate on that because I am heavy-handed with pencils. And I could get that dark real quick. So this is where we're actually going to be blending. That's pretty good. I'm going to come in with the lighter blue in a minute and blend that. In fact, I'll just do that right now. Come back in with my first blue. I used cornflower. So if you're doing the book with me, whatever that first blue or your first color was, you're going to come back in with it. And those colors were pretty different, but they did blend all right. Okay? Then I put a little bit more on here. Just want to deepen this up some, or brighten it maybe is a better term. Just get that on there. I'm still got to do all the little dots. That's okay. So going back to the regular blue, our second color, I'm coming in here. I'm going to do a cross, get this part done, come up in here a little bit, go in and do some of these picky little lines that get the little curves. What it's going to do is bring that some depth and actually make them look like they're tucked up in there and a bit more wrinkled than what you would have seen otherwise. So do those, get those lines in there, soften it a little if you need to. Again, you've got more dots in here, little squares of the blue color that need to be done. So do those. And then you're going to come in here and do all these. Still using that same blue. Alright, we're going to come up through here. We're going to do all those dots in there. Okay, I will do mine later. I'm not going to waste your time just coloring spots on a turtle. But let's get this done. because I am going to come back through this side with another color to deepen it up a bit. Okay, then you know how we did the lines here? We got those lines in to show the wrinkles and age of this turtle. So same thing here. Just get that color in there. And the ears. Anywhere where those shadows are, that's where you're going to put this color. This time I will go around that teardrop. I'm going to do some here, and it's just little scribbly marks. That doesn't have to really blend in with anything. Okay, this side, because it's further around there, it is going to be darker. So we'll work with that with the other pencil in a bit too. Then down under here, let's add some here. And then all of this, where the artist put those gray lines in, let's go ahead and get that in this blue also. So whatever color you're using, that's where you're going to put that medium shade, your second color. And then going to do all those dots, yes. All right, let's look at our third color. Our third color today is navy blue. So coming back down here, can you see how much darker that is? And I'm going to come into these dots just a little. What that's doing is making that look more rounded. Okay, I'm going to come back here, and I'm not going to get the shell, but I'm getting right up next to it. Okay, and then fade that into the other color. There's a big wrinkle here. Let's do it dark here, and it pushes that back in and lifts that leg forward some so that we've got added depth to our picture. Come on around. Just let that leg sink back in there. Okay, then down in here, we're going to do just a little, ever so slightly. Why? Because this leg is further back, and if we use our darkest color here, then we don't have anything to use here. Now we could use this color here and then use black there, but I really didn't want to go with black. I felt like that was going to be a little bit harsh for such a fun creature. So that's why I decided to keep it with this. So see how that came down? And that's making that leg look like it's back behind. Go down a bit, because it really is behind the other one. And then fade it out. Now we're going to come up this side with that dark color and go in part way on these dots, just part way. And again, it's going to give the illusion of that leg being rounded. Okay, up here to this part. Going right up next to these wrinkles. Get up in there. I can go in a little bit. See how it makes it look even more tucked back under there? Don't be afraid to do your dark areas darker. What that does is makes your lighter areas appear lighter. Use your darks and lights. Let them do the work for you in telling your story that that is back up under there, you know? It is in the shadows. This is hanging over the edge of this. So let's deepen this a little so that it does look, has that appearance of hanging over the top. That's how you're going to get depth to your pictures. Make your darks darker. Make those lights just a little bit softer. Okay, so now these, how do we want to make that look rounded? By adding dark here on each of these spots. It's just going to make it look like it's tucked around. So anytime you want something rounded, whether it's a candy cane or an arm or whatever, you're going to do it a little bit darker on the edges. Okay? Just right on those edges. That's why blending can be so important, because you want to be able to make your shapes. Okay, we're going to go over here to this fin. Do those dark lines. Again, just slightly. I'm not doing a whole lot because this one is a little bit more up in the air. So we don't want it to look like it's shadowed. We just want it to look like it's rounded. Here I can go dark again. See, I'm really bearing down on this pencil. But now, as I go into the other color, I'm going to lighten it up. And I can see that there's a little bit of shading right there. See how I put that in? Just scribble it in and put it down through there. And that gives you a little tucked in area where all this muscle is, and then just the webbed area. And you can do that by just slightly tucking in bits of color and then leaving some more open. Let's go up here to the face. His neck here is going to be shadowed from the overhang of his face. Remember we said this side was further away? So we could make that a little darker. Put a little dark up in there. Let's do some of this. Let's do his nose area. There's some lines here. Some deep dark here. Use your dark. Let it work for you. All right, and I am going to go ahead and do his nose light blue. Why not? The whole thing is pretend anyway, right? Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Like I said, I've still got to go back and do all the spots in medium. We're on 18 minutes, so we're going to try to go ahead and do the shell. Okay, so I pulled Shamrock because look how long that pencil is. And then I pulled Tropical Rainforest, and I pulled Teal. Teal is going to be my darker shade. So here we go. This is the first one. This is Shamrock. This will be a whole lot easier than his body was. I'm just going to get all this color in there. Easy, easy. Now, did you notice I just turned the pencil a little? It's because I used a lot of lead from right there, and so I wanted to turn it and use some from the other side. Kind of helps me sharpen the pencil as I go, so I'm not having to sharpen as often. See, and the blue and green, it's a water creature, so why not, right? So whatever colors you use, you could have gone with a orangey red and blue. You could have gone with teal and just an orange. You could have done purple and yellow. But again, the purple and gold is what I'm doing on the griffin. So, all right. So let's get this in there. I went ahead and went over the spots also because it just helped to knock a little bit of that tooth out of the paper. Okay? That's why I didn't sit and go around and just do all those lines, because I got to get all these spots covered anyway. All right, so my next color is the Tropical Rainforest. Now I'm going to come in and start doing all my spots. Just all the spots. Like I said, this part is much easier. It's a up in the sky item, so it's not going to have near the shadows that all this underskin did. Okay, the underbelly of this creature. We still will add some, and I'll show you that in just a minute. We're almost there with it. To make these look like they're really curved, we're going to shade specific areas so that it doesn't look so flat. Okay? If this video cuts off before I'm done, just know that I will post it just a few minutes after this video. I won't make you wait days. I will post it right away, because I know that happens sometimes. And then next time we'll work on the griffin. All right, now I'm going to that teal. So now, if I want this to go down, I'm going to do this area darker. Okay? I want it to look like it's actually kind of moving around there. And they've already darkened some of these squares, the artist did, which really makes it easier for us. Now, to make this look more rounded, I just did that area darker, so it's rounded that way. I'm going to do a little bit here. Then I'm going to come over and do these edges darker. Just see how that looks already, like it's pushed further back. Play with color. I don't know how long we've been working on this book, but we will eventually one day get to a point where I'll be like, okay, finish it on your own. Now, I am going to go ahead and use this color right here, just because I want that to look like it's going around. So I need that a little darker back there. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing around here. And I'm just fading it in. Okay? And I think that's really, I'm going to do some right here, just because that'll make it look like it's dipped down some. All right? And like I said, I've got to go back and do all the spots. Hey, we're not going to get cut off. Good deal. I've got to go back and get all these spots done. But you can see it's just a matter of coloring them in. And I guess I will do them all before I do the griffin. That way you'll see it when we come back for the griffin. Griffin's going to be pretty cool, all those feathers. And it may take a couple videos on him, I'm not sure. I'm not trying to drag the book out. It's just I don't color 24/7. Yeah, so spend a lot of time with our in-laws. They are doing well. And, you know, just life in general. Got to see our granddaughter for a little bit today. She had been ill. She is well. Mommy and Daddy are well. So she loves her grandma and grandpa, and we love her. So you can see how this does go pretty quick. I'm not trying to do each shape perfect. I'm just trying to get the color in there. Okay, down on these. There's just a few in here. And they're really almost just alluded to. Yeah, there's almost always going to be something that's not as fun and it's more boring. But it's another step to finishing your pages. And it really does help to make your page look better. Okay? So don't shortcut yourself on it. Take the time. I think I've actually finished. Wow. All right. So there's my Mr. Turtle. Okay? It's actually a mock turtle, and according to the pictures I looked up, they're like brown and gray and not real pretty. So I, for one, like that. So anyway, I will see you in a few days. Thanks for stopping in. Bye.